Hi there and welcome again. On Monday we celebrated the 28 de Julio, which is Peru's national day. And so I brought along a few artifacts, a little bit of memorabilia, just as a way of my giving thanks to God and to Peru for the wonderful times I had there. This morning I want to look ahead to next Sunday's Gospel. And it's one where a man in the crowd asks Jesus to be arbiter between himself and his brother over the inheritance that was theirs. And Jesus knows that where there's a will, there's a fight. So he did not get involved, but rather gave a word of advice. He said, listen, be on your guard against avarice of any kind. And then he gave him a parable. He said there was a certain rich man who had a bumper crop, a bumper harvest. And he had to question himself, what am I going to do with all this? I haven't enough space to store it. So he said, I'll build bigger barns and I'll store all this there and my goods as well. And then I can tell myself, look, you've got enough for many, many years. Now just sit back, take it easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. And Jesus says that God said in the parable here, you fool, this very night I will require your soul. And whose will all this accumulated wealth be then? And so it is that accumulating goods, accumulating wealth, accumulating things doesn't make anybody's life secure. And I was reminded of the late Pope Francis, who so many times spoke of avarice as being one of the major negative elements in our world today. Avarice. The need, the desire, the passion to have more of everything. And the more money I have, there I will put my trust. The more influential friends I have, I will put my trust. Or the more food, or drinks, or holidays I have, there I will put my trust. And Jesus says, fool, to who will all these belong when you are called? Because this doesn't make your life secure. And I was thinking of our world today, and I know it's a bit easy to think of the major hotspots. And I was thinking of Ukraine, the destruction of life and livelihoods. And I'm thinking of the over 100,000 homes in Russia that are in mourning now because of the loss of husband, father, or son. And all because one little fellow in the Kremlin says, I want more. More wheat, more land, more people, and more Russia, the Grand Rus, so that he can become the Catherine Great of the 21st century. And he moved down to Gaza. And Netanyahu and his cronies saying, we want more. We want more land. We want more security. And we want no Palestinians. Or we move across to Myanmar, a bit nearer to home here. And there we have a brutal military who are prepared to devastate their country and their country folk so that they might have more. And yet if we look at the three of them, they're all frightened. They're all surrounded by maximum security. because they're at risk, even if they get more. And it's interesting to look in Pope Francis also refers to avarice is something that is motivated by Satan. Satan is behind that in our personal lives, our family lives, and obviously in our international lives. Because Satan is the prince of lies. He's not the prince of so many other things that we think are evil. No, he's the prince of lies. And if we look at our papers, listen to our television, apart from being saddened and sickened, we see lies everywhere. And lies are associated with avarice. We tend to put our trust in having more of everything, rather than in our God, in our neighbour, and in ourselves. And so, let's finish just with Jesus' words, which I think are so good. Be on your guard against avarice of any kind, because it's so prevalent, so common, and yet it's so insecure. Okay? Go well, have a great week, and look forward to seeing you next time.